All right, let's talk about Hashimoto's. If you're not familiar, this is an autoimmune condition of the thyroid gland. Your thyroid's like a little butterfly-shaped gland right at the base of your neck. And what can happen is when we get leaky gut, sometimes we have this proclivity for our immune system to attack the thyroid. And the immune system becomes dysregulated for a number of reasons, but in this case, it specifically targets the tissue of the thyroid. The thyroid is like the barometer of the body. It's controlling so many things. It's very small, but it has a lot of impact on the way that you feel. So somebody with Hashimoto's may feel low energy. They may have dry skin and nails, and their hair may be brittle and falling out. They may have mood disorders or low libido. There's a lot of different emotional factors that connect with how we feel and just our overall zest and energy that we have day to day. Hashimoto's is very, very common for women. So if you're listening to this and you're a female, you likely know somebody that has had this diagnosis. And what's important to realize is that it's inflammatory in nature. The very root cause of Hashimoto's is really an immune problem. So it's not a thyroid problem. The thyroid is affected, but it's because the immune system is breaking down the tissue. Your thyroid may actually be able to produce T4, which is your primary hormone that then gets converted into the active form of T3. However, it's the immune system that's working against you. And what I want to bring up with any autoimmune condition is that you've got to look at where your mindset is, because the mind and the body are so connected. If you have these feelings of low self-worth or insufficiency in your mind, and these are things that you kind of mull over and over, and you've adopted or you believe them in some way, your immune system can follow similar patterns, right? It's starting to attack and turn on itself. So know that your mind carries incredible power when it comes to your ability to heal. Start speaking things of healing nature over your body so that your body, your immune system, will follow that. And I'm going to give you some practical things too, right? I understand that it's not all mental, that there are a lot of other things that are contributing to this. So let's get into it so that we cover all of the ground. Some ancient prescriptions, as we call them, some things that would be remedies that you can do from your own home are ashwagandha. We talked about ashwagandha. It's one of my favorites. It's an herb. It helps modulate stress because the adrenals are very connected to the thyroid. It's helping modulate stress. So we've got the gut, we have the adrenals, and we have the thyroid gland. They're all very well connected. Ashwagandha, you can take about 500 milligrams a day. That will help the stress portion that's connected to the adrenal glands. Astragalus is another herb. So I've shown this one before, but I take 2 of these oftentimes morning and night. They're about 500 milligrams each, so you can do up to about 1,000 every time you take it. So this is an incredible herb that you could do alongside of ashwagandha. Probiotics. So if we're talking about the gut association and how it plays into Hashimoto's, we want to be able to nurture and really develop good, healthy gut flora. So probiotics can be very helpful in establishing that and making sure that we have healthy balance of gut flora and we don't have any overgrowths. We can see a lot of overgrowth, yeast, candida, things of that nature that can cause impact in our gut's ability to maintain a good ecosystem. So add in those daily probiotics and take them with your meal. That's just a little side tip too. It allows it to kind of piggyback on your food as it moves through your digestive system. So I take it at my largest meal and I take it at the end of the meal if that's helpful for you. CBD is an incredible addition that you can add to your regimen. There's so many different CBD products. So my biggest suggestion is to find one that's really pure. So you want to use something that's full spectrum if possible. And again, use it as needed, titrate up as needed. You can take it morning and night. Sometimes you may feel that you are more symptomatic at a certain point during the day. CBD is going to help modulate that stress response in the body. So think about it similarly with ashwagandha, right? It's an adaptogen. It works in an adaptogenic way that it will work to help bring balance wherever there's deficiency in the body. That's what I love about CBD, because it will come in and kind of fill in the gap where there's deficiency. So love CBD. There are lots of therapeutic doses, ways you can take it. There are now people that make them in digestible form of like gummies that have them. You can also do them in oral tinctures. You can add the oral tinctures to things like teas that I've seen recently. So make sure you're getting something that's very high quality though. Now, when it comes to your food, things that are going to harm in your endeavors to heal Hashimoto's, the number one thing is going to be gluten. And gluten is a problem because it cross-reacts with a similar protein that your thyroid gland is made up of. So if you think about it, the way that the thyroid gland and gluten, think about this molecular mimicry. They look almost the same. So when your immune system sees that gluten comes in, all of a sudden it attacks the gluten. Well, guess what? Now gluten becomes a same trigger for your thyroid, because to your immune system, they look identical. So when you eat gluten, it fires up the immune system, and now it's attacking the gluten and your thyroid. Gluten has to go, and it probably has to stay off the table indefinitely. So pull gluten. Dairy, even raw forms of dairy, and I've talked about how that can be very helpful for some people because of the immunoglobulins and the supportive nature to your immune system. But in this case, we've got to pull dairy off the table. Conventional, any type of processed or conventional products are going to pose a problem, and excess caffeine. So we talked about the adrenal connection to the thyroid. Make sure you pull caffeine out. You can do some herbal teas. You can do some mushroom types of coffee. That can be very therapeutic, but know that those probably need to be off the table if you really want to address the root cause of your Hashimoto's. Now, foods that heal are things like bone broth, lots of good animal products like wild-caught fish, pasture-raised chicken, grass-fed beef. These are all very rich in different types of amino acids that help your body build energy, help build new healthy cells, and restore that gut lining. Potatoes, berries, goji berries are actually phenomenal for people with Hashimoto's. I actually like putting goji berries in the bottom of a cup of hot water, and it helps build blood. It's very balancing to the body. It has a little bit of a sweet taste to it, but I love that just as something that I would have at the end of the day. A little bit of a sweet taste to it, but also very light. Miso, seaweed, these are things that have iodine in them. They're very helpful for your thyroid because it relies heavily on nutrients. So add good sea salt, things that are good in minerals, are rich in minerals. So a lot of wild-caught fish, and like I said, the seaweed can be really helpful. Outside of that, the more you can have just a plethora of colors on your plate, the better. So know that the more you can incorporate nutrient-dense and rich foods, that's going to help your body support healing. Now, when we talk about some additional remedies in the home, this is one of my favorites. You can take some fractionated coconut oil and frankincense and myrrh. So if you add these two to a roller ball, you're only going to want to use a couple drops each of these, and then use your carrier oil. This is a roller ball. So what you do is put it in there, and then you'll see it's got this like roller ball tip, and you're actually just going to roll it over the thyroid gland. And you can do that morning and night. I would put it somewhere where you will see it and you will remember. So maybe it is your kitchen, maybe it's your bathroom counter or your nightstand, but you're just going to want to rub it, and you can kind of massage that over. And those oils are very powerful, and they're very good for healing, right? Bringing energy and restoring to that area. So try that out and see if that works for you. Other things would be acupuncture. Acupuncture is great at helping the body modulate stress. It brings energy and blood to areas that are deficient. I've loved using acupuncture personally, but I know that there have been a number of people who've seen wild success in using that on a regular basis. Other things would just be getting sunlight, obviously reducing stress, anything, if it's journaling, if it's meditating, if it's doing a yoga class, whatever it is that gets you into a parasympathetic state, that's what you want to stick with. So I hope these tips have been helpful for you. Know that you are not the only person. There are so many women out there with Hashimoto's, but once we can recalibrate, we can get the immune system to work the way that it is, your thyroid gland can repair tissue, it can restore its function, and that's what's beautiful. You can do these practices from home, and we can start to see significant impact and changes in the way that you feel. So stick with them. Make sure that you try different things, because there's a specific formula that your body will respond to. So give all of these a different try, see what resonates with you, and all the best in your healing journey with Hashimoto's.